Thank you. We're now ready to start with our next group of 8 candidates running for Livonia City Council. We have 1 minute opening statements, and we will start with Mr. King.
The voice of Mr. King. Is that correct, Paula?
Yes, go ahead.
There's no video. Okay. Yeah. I am Steve King, and I have been in Livonia. I moved here. I've been living here 3 years before Bates was actually built in 1959. So I have been here a long time, been involved in many, many things over the years. Most people know me from my band, Steve King and the Diddleys. I was just up at the opening salvo of Music from the Heart, the concert I was supposed to do tonight, but unfortunately the mayor kicked me off the schedule because of my opposition to the village. So that was a little disappointing. Is that 1 minute?
No, keep going.
I heard a chime. Okay. So at any rate, I have a Facebook page, Vote for King. I have a blog, votesteveking.blogspot.com. And I attend every council meeting, speak at every communication.
And now that's time.
Yep.
Miss Mackey.
I had to unmute myself. Yes, my name is Rola Mackey, and I'm running to be Livonia City Council. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a nurse. My husband and I own a business together, and I've only lived in Livonia for 3 years. We moved quite a few, my husband and I, in state and out of state, and I just saw so much lack of transparency, and people put, city government putting politics before people. And it's time that, we have people on city council that ask many questions. I'm an auditor for a living. I'm an RN, but I do auditing. So I like to look at numbers. I like to, look for like discrepancies, ambiguity. Right now we have a bond that's, we're gonna be voting on. There's a lot of questions I have about it. So that's why I want to run for city council, because I want to put people before politics. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. McDonald.
Good evening. Thank you for having us here this evening. Of course, I'm Eileen McDonald, and my husband Bob and I have been Livonia residents for 29 years. We love it here. We've raised our children here. Our kids went through Livonia Public Schools, and I'm running for city council to be your voice. I believe that elected officials should listen to their I can't talk today. They're citizens. I will respect your opinion, even if it's different than mine. I'm experienced professionally. I manage proposal and contracts for a global chemical company, and now I'm retired. I was a Livonia Public School trustee for 5 years. As a trustee, I was an advocate for those who were most vulnerable. I was a member of the board when the LPS orchestrated the $195 million bond that was approved by the voters. I will use this experience to ensure oversight within our city, and I will support this community, our first responders.
Thank you.
And to look at our finances.
Thank you. Ms. McIntyre. Oops, you're muted.
Thank you. Sorry, it's like COVID all over again. Good evening. I'm Kathleen McIntyre, lifelong Livonia resident, former city council president, and candidate for city council. I'm proud of what we accomplished when I served, investing in seniors and transportation, protecting homeowners with responsible planning, and keeping our first responders top notch. But there's more to do, and I'm running with a 1-2-3 plan for Livonia's future. 1, keep Livonia safe. 2, keep Livonia prosperous. 3, keep Livonia welcoming. This means strong community policing and modern facilities, cutting red tape and streamlining permitting, building a strong workforce and supporting seniors, families, and those with disabilities. I've done this job before. I know how to listen, build collaboration, solve problems, and deliver real results. And with your support, I'll do it again. I'm Kathleen McIntyre, and you can learn more from McIntyreforCouncil.com. And I look forward to tonight's discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Meager.
Yes, good evening. My name is Brian Marr. I'm a lifelong Livonian, husband, father of three. I own a small business here in Livonia and current member of the Livonia Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm running for city council because I believe that Livonia is at a crossroads. We have an incredible potential, but also aging infrastructure, uneven investment across neighborhoods, and growing frustration on how the city communicates and responds. Professionally, I help nonprofits secure funding and build strategic plans, often in high stakes environments. That experience has taught me how to listen, problem solve, and lead with both heart and accountability. I want Livonia to remain a place where families thrive, businesses grow, and public services are strong. I'm not running to make noise, I'm running to do more work. Thanks so much for the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum and for all of you who are caring enough to be part of this process.
Thank you. Ms. O'Connor.
Hi, thank you. My name is Jenny O'Connor. I'm running for Livonia City Council because our city's at a turning point. I've spent the last 20 years of my career working in contract, commercial, and residential design. I work collaboratively as part of teams alongside tradespeople, construction, management companies, developers, builders, architects, and other designers. I also do a lot with workforce development. And because our city is at a turning point, I think that our biggest challenges are also our biggest opportunities. We need to work hard to make sure that our budget priorities reflect the needs of residents across all of our generations. And I think that we need to modernize our city in a thoughtful way that helps preserve what makes our city special, but also communicate clearly with the public as we move forward. I'm really proud to have grown up in Livonia, and I'm raising my own children here. I work here. I've been here my whole life, so I'm really invested in this place, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to speak with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Persicone.
Good evening. Thank you to the League for hosting this forum tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak to the voters directly. My name is Robin Persicone, and I'm running for City Council. I'm a mom, a wife, I'm a small business owner, a practicing attorney, and a community volunteer. My roots run deep here in Livonia. I was born and raised here, and my husband and I are choosing to raise our family here. And as much as I do love this community, I do believe we can do even better. My priorities are simple but essential. Public safety is paramount. It is the foundation for everything else. I'm going to work to improve our quality of life and our infrastructure, making sure that we have a long-term planning maintenance schedule put in place for our municipal facilities. And also, I want to work to revitalize our local economy. Local elections matter the most, and they impact our lives the greatest. So I hope I can earn your vote on August 5th. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Picard. Whoops, unmute.
Thanks, Paula. Hi, I'm Nick Picard, and I'm running for Livonia City Council. I'm a proud Southside Livonia resident. I am a dad of two. I'm a husband, and I'm a program coordinator in children's grief support. I work in 5 school districts, including Livonia. I'm involved in several nonprofits here in Livonia that support families and in our community. I'm a board member for the Wilson Barn, where I help run community events and help run events that are family friendly and affordable. I've spent years helping this community, listening, talking to people, learning about the community, being present. That experience has taught me how important it is to have a leadership that truly cares and shows up. I'm running to make our city more accessible, more responsive, and more invested in every neighborhood, not just a few. I believe in solutions, not excuses. I'm not here to play the politics. I'm here to work for the people of Livonia.
Thank you. We'll begin our first question with Ms. Mackey. What ideas for the Noble Library property would you support? You're muted.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to get it fixed. Sorry.
Should I repeat it?
Yes, please.
What ideas for the Noble Library property would you support?
So some ideas for the Noble property would just be maybe more, diversity or I know that we visit the library a lot and during certain holidays and whatnot, sometimes we don't see displays for, some religious holidays, so it would be nice to incorporate something like that.
Okay, Ms. McDonald? And you're muted.
Thank you. I believe that the Noble property should be invested in and have the opportunity to have a community center, arts center, someplace for the citizens on the southern side of the city to have access to be able to hold meetings. I talked to someone earlier this week that said that they belong to a couple different civic groups and they have nowhere to go. So I think that would be a great idea for that area. And I'm not giving up hope on Noble. I think it's something that can be done. We just need to invest the money and make it the gem that it is. We don't have many architectural gems in Livonia. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McIntyre.
Thank you for the question. This is a question with a lot of different angles. As I think most people know, the library has been shuttered since 2019 due to structural problems, mold, and water. And those problems were a long time in the making. And when the library was closed, there was not a lot of, I was on council at the time, there was not a lot of conversation or outcry about the library being closed. And I never heard comments about the south side being somehow given the short shrift because it was closed. Whatever we do, first of all, let me say I'm delighted that we have a plan for Sheldon Park with money coming from the PRDA and some other set-aside money. The Noble Library, it would be lovely if we could restore it and have a community center. However, there's no funding stream that's been identified, nor would a community center be self-sustaining. I'm open to ideas, but I'm also a realist and can't support anything that's going to put the city in further behind the financial curve with respect to our buildings and our services.
Thank you. Mr. Mocker?
Yes, now that the Nova building is no longer operating as a library for the last 6 years, I believe it presents an opportunity for a couple things. As Ms. McIntyre mentioned, there are a lot of different angles, and making sure that we as city councilmen who are elected are making the best decision is really the forefront of it. I do believe in exploring all the options to see if there is an opportunity to repurpose the space in a way that meets current community needs, whether it's a resource center, innovation space, satellite service hub, partnership space, whatever those things could be, but also looking at the actual cost and where the money is going to come from within the city budget, which already operates differently than most municipalities. So open to all ideas, but wanting to make sure that it's the best fiscal decision for the city. Ultimately, knowing what that is and making sure that it's transparent and including of the community.
Thank you. Ms. O'Connor?
Hi. So I'm a lifelong South Sider, and as somebody who's lived on this side of the city my entire life, I can tell you that we are missing city services over here. The Alfred Noble building is an incredible opportunity waiting to be reimagined. I personally would love to see it transformed into a vibrant multi-use community center that could serve residents of all ages. I imagine a space where people could host baby showers, birthday parties, or graduation parties, a place where potential youth programs or even senior gatherings can happen. And I think we could also create something innovative like a podcast studio or a digital media lab or even a co-working space for a lot of people who are still working partially remote. I'd also advocate for practical touches like putting the book return back into function, potential community garden opportunities. And I've also seen other cities where they've built really small kind of open air amphitheaters, which would be a really great place for local high schools to do choir concerts and band concerts. So I don't think this is about nostalgia. It's about investing in what we already have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Persicone?
Thank you for the question. Well, I do know that this is a sensitive topic, and it has been studied extensively and brought up almost regularly at city council meetings over the last few years. I am looking forward to hearing what the results are of the upcoming meetings that I believe Councilwoman Budzinski has scheduled for the end of August. And all of the ideas that are being put out there, multi-use space, different ways to repurpose the building are wonderful. And I think everyone would like that in reality. But what we have to really understand here is that Livonia runs lean. We don't have extra money laying around. So we do, if this is going to really work, there has to be a fiscally responsible plan brought forward as to how it would be funded. I'm open and I'm amenable to all ideas, but at the end of the day, sometimes tough decisions would have to be made. So if it can happen, wonderful. And I'm looking forward to hearing the results of these upcoming meetings.
Thank you. Mr. Picard?
Yes, I think the Noble Library needs to be saved. I would love to see it be made into a community center. When I think about the Noble Library, I feel a little bit, tugs at my heart because the Wilson Barn went through that same thing decades ago. People wanted to tear it down. It was an old building. People didn't think it was worth saving. Well, now it's been saved. It's a gem in the city. It hosts the farmers market. It hosts more community events than anywhere in the city, including Greenmead. And it's ran by a nonprofit group of volunteers. So that shows that, stuff matters. These great places matter, and these community spaces matter. So to me, Alfred Noble needs to be saved. We need to do whatever we can. I don't care if it costs $5 million, do it. We're asking for 150 for new infrastructure. Let's put some money towards Noble.
Thank you. Mr. King?
Yes, I hope you can hear me.
Yes?
I've been speaking with the owner of Art Store and More about a private-public partnership, turning Noble into an art center. It would have public and private space, and we would relocate the art gallery from Civic Center to that location. It would be housed there permanently. Working with candidate Hefty, we would secure grant money, as she has done for Dearborn, to the tune of $100 million. And we would turn that into a showplace and open it up to the community. Tremendous ideas out there of how it can be used. I believe the activity at Sheldon Park right now, it's languished for years. I believe it's suspect. And we're only talking about Sheldon now to garner votes to pass this millage. And I believe if the millage passes, Noble will be torn down because those voices will go silent. They won't have any power at all. Once the votes are cast, they become invisible.
Thank you, Mr. King. Ms. McDonald, we'll start with you for the next question. If elected, what major idea to improve Livonia would you present to the council?
That's a big one. I would love to see a Greenmead made into a beautiful piece of gem property that it is. We need to work with people and, get grants, get donations, and really turn that property around. Right now, it is just totally neglected. Who knows how much money it needs to repair the buildings. A lot of them have holes in them. There's critters in them, and it's just something that needs to be done. And we could turn that piece of property around and make it a showcase for Livonia. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McIntyre? Oops. You're muted.
The unmute button wasn't working. Could you just repeat the question without taking my
Sure.
time, please?
Sure. If elected, what major idea to improve Livonia would you present to the council?
Thank you. That's a good question. First, let me say that the role of a council person, first and foremost, is not to, yes, certainly bring ideas to the council. The best ideas that are brought to council are brought in collaboration with other council members, members of the administration, maybe our business community, residents certainly, or nonprofits. The first one of the most important issues facing this council will be the transportation one. The Live and Go system, which replaced our former senior transit, is a big improvement. And I worked on a public-private government committee that did a study and helped get that in place. We have the millage coming that's probably going to require Livonia to opt in to the smart transportation, which will now be known as a regional transportation. One of the most important big things we'll need to do is understand how Live and Go will fit into the regional transportation and how we won't lose the ability to service our residents in a way that suits them.
Thank you. Mr. Mocker?
Yes. If elected, I would propose that the new city council launch a more comprehensive public safety readiness plan, something that has a long-term strategy to ensure that the police, fire, and emergency services are equipped, staffed, and supported to meet both current and future demands, including part of their retirement. This isn't just about buildings, though updating the outdated facilities is critical. It's about investing in training, technology, mental health support, and improving how departments communicate with the public during emergencies. Public safety is the foundation of everything else. Families won't plant roots, businesses won't invest, and communities can't thrive without it. If we want Livonia to grow stronger, safer, and more united, we have to start here with the people who protect and serve us every single day.
Thank you. Ms. O'Connor?
Hi, thank you for this question. This is actually something I already started working on. So my big idea after meeting with the firefighters union board, when they told me that their biggest concern is safety in the form of manpower, is I sat down and I wrote a 10-page workforce development plan that proactively addresses Livonia's firefighter shortage by building a direct pathway from high school into the fire service. So the idea is that it would be a 2-year program starting at the junior year and going into the senior year. I figured if police and the military can go into the high schools, the firefighters should be able to as well. And the concept is that they could partner with the Livonia Career Technical Center and potentially Schoolcraft College as well. And then our local firefighters union to create a program that introduces students to fire and EMS careers early through hands-on training, mentorship, and possibly dual enrollment. The plan obviously hasn't been implemented yet, but it's a forward-thinking solution that I would be proud to help champion and move along. It's investing in our youth and strengthening public safety at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Persicone?
Yes, thank you. I would like to improve the appearance of Livonia by creating a city beautification commission, similar to what Dearborn has recently done. The main goals of that would be to improve curb appeal in commercial and residential areas, reducing litter, enhancing public spaces. Some of those key initiatives would include, for example, art installations in parks. Schoolcraft College just recently did a DIA art installation, and it's magnificent. I would like to improve streetscapes, installing planters and planting trees in our commercial areas and public areas. I'd like to revive the neglected areas and parks in Livonia. There's many parks that are neglected that can be greatly improved. And finally, of course, revitalizing city gems like Greenmead with the landscaping and thoughtful upgrades. There's so much that could be done there that we haven't done yet. I think these improvements would enrich our community's quality of life, and it can be pursued through grant funding. There's lots of grants. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Picard?
Yes, my big ideal is called Vacant to Vibrant. It's a plan that I released a few months ago. It's a program to turn Livonia's empty commercial spaces into opportunities. Too many plazas and storefronts are just sitting empty and being left to rot, while entrepreneurs and community organizations are looking for places to be. I want to create a grant program that helps local businesses and artists and nonprofits fill those spaces, and get some more small businesses coming here to Livonia. This doesn't just bring life back into our city. It boosts the local economy and it'll build pride in our city. Let's stop building or stop letting all these buildings rot and start turning them into something Livonia can be proud of.
Thank you. Mr. King?
Yeah, just the overarching theme that I would like to express, we need to change the culture of this city, bring it back to one of service, and particularly this current administration. Michigan is the worst state in the nation when it comes to transparency and accountability. So no wonder the city behaves the same way. If you go to council meetings, citizens come to the audience communication pleading for help over and over again. Nothing is ever done. Administrators make bad decisions with no consequences. Rotary Park is just one example. The lack of transparency makes it difficult to believe anything that comes from the fourth floor. Still waiting for the paperwork that shows where the 45 billion in healthcare savings is coming from. So that's the behavior that has to come. And if until you have a culture of service, nothing else matters and nothing's going to get remedied.
Thank you. Ms. Mackey?
Yeah, so one of the reasons why my husband and I moved to Livonia is because it's one of the safest cities in Michigan, and we intend to keep it that way, making sure that our police and fire and first responders are fully supported in every capacity. And another thing I would do is, like a lot of the candidates here said today, being small business owners, there's a lot of like empty buildings. There's a lot of, businesses that you see in other cities that you don't see here. So work on getting grants and tax breaks for entrepreneurs and small businesses to move into the city.
Thank you. Ms. McIntyre, we'll start this next question with you. Do you support the municipal facilities proposal? Why or why not?
Well, this is certainly a timely question. I was quite skeptical of this proposal at first, especially when it included the library. And then I dug in, and there's some background noise. Then I dug in and I did my homework. And I dug in deep into the numbers. I dug into the opportunity that we have. I dug into what a centralized or a condensed campus would look like. And although this is not probably not anyone's perfect thing, and that's the way government works and that's the way life works, you have to find compromise, I do support it. This is an opportunity to recreate our city center, which desperately needs it. If you drive by it, it doesn't look like a vibrant, forward-looking city. This is an incredible opportunity. I understand the Bennett Library is not as old as City Hall. However, unfortunately, there were design problems, and the designs in the 80s are not necessarily the designs that we need today. Space wasn't used efficiently. Heating and cooling wasn't efficient. So I think this is oh, I'm sorry. I didn't have your timer up. Thank you.
Mr. Mager?
Yes, I fully support the municipal facilities proposal because it's a smart, long overdue investment in Livonia's core services and long-term future. I also believe that over time, it is a fiscally responsible decision for the city. Our police officers, firefighters, and city staff are working in buildings that no longer meet the standards of safety, accessibility, or efficiency. They aren't just aging structures, they're holding back the level of service our residents deserve. This proposal was developed over several years with input from experts and community leaders. It prioritizes public safety, it consolidates city operations for better service delivery, and it ensures our infrastructure is built to last for the next 50 years. Supporting this plan isn't about building something flashy, it's about protecting what matters most, our people, our services, and our city's future.
Thank you. Ms. O'Connor?
Sorry, I lost my cursor there. Yes, I do support this proposal. I feel like it's a responsible investment in our city's future. Our fire stations, police buildings, and civic facilities are aging, they're inaccessible, and in many cases, they no longer meet the basic standards for safety or service. So in my opinion, voting yes means that we can finally begin long overdue improvements, starting with our first responders, and bring all of our public buildings into ADA compliance so that they work for everybody in our community. This plan wasn't thrown together overnight. It's grounded in our city's Vision 21 master plan. There was a thorough facilities assessment done, and there has been public feedback and many opportunities for the public to give their feedback. So saying yes, in my opinion, now means that we're acting before inflation and emergency repairs cost us even more money. This has nothing to do with vanity, but improving our city. And just a quick side note, I do bidding and estimating as part of my job. I've seen prices increase 20 to 30% just over the last 2 months on raw goods. So the time is now. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Persiconi?
Yes, thank you. I do support this bond proposal. I have watched the city council and the administration study our facility for years. I think that it is clear that building new ones are more cost effective in the long run. Our current buildings are outdated, they're oversized, they're inefficient, and it would cost over $100 million over the course of the next 10 years to maintain those facilities. And to me, that is simply putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. I do not think this is about creating a downtown, contrary to some of what is out there. I'm looking at this as a smart, focused investment for our city center area in one specific area of Livonia. Ultimately, in looking ahead, I think the project has the potential to generate significant revenue for our citizens, ultimately bringing our taxes down. And the millage rate is reasonable, still maintaining Livonia's millage and among the lowest in Wayne County.
Thank you. Mr. Picard?
Yes, I am a yes on the millage. When I first decided to run for Livonia City Council, one of the things, a goal that I set for myself was to make this city more ADA compliant. It's been ignored for decades. This should have been done 30 years ago, not here in 2025. I'm literally sitting in the Livonia Library right now where someone in a wheelchair could not comfortably be. It's not okay. So I can't say that ADA compliance is a priority to me and then vote no on a project that will make everything in here ADA compliant. I'm a graduate of the Citizens Police Academy. I just spent 2.5, 3 months in the police station. It's bad. It needs to be replaced. It needs to be rebuilt. It's just not a good place, and our first responders deserve better. Our police deserve better. So yes, I'm a yes for the millage, and my kids are gonna love this new library.
Thank you. Mr. King?
Yeah, the candidates that say they're supporting this because of police and fire, those buildings aren't touched for 3 years. The desperation to get this millage passed is palpable. Never in the history of this city has there been such an effort to squash opposing thoughts and opinions. Employees, workers, and volunteers have been hassled, coerced, and arm twisted to do the bidding of one person. Recently, the streets of Livonia were filled with citizens participating in the No Kings event. Apparently, many of these participants don't have the same reservations with the concept of a queen. Public tax dollars are being used illegally in the effort to pass the millage, and there should be consequences. I'm a hard no and don't have the time to list all of the reasons, but the real deal breaker for me is the destruction of our Civic Center library. The current library could be upgraded for a tiny fraction of the cost amount instead of demolishing. Please stop wasting our tax dollars. I'm doing a teach-in on this event next week at the library, and I'm using the same slides that the built people are using.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Mackey?
I'm going to be a no on this, but not because I don't want to see investments in our city. It's just because I believe in fiscal transparency and every dollar should be tracked and justified, for Livonia residents. Right now, I went through the proposal and there's just some ambiguity in there as far as certain charges like how much it's going to cost to do certain things. So I'm all for going back to the drawing board. There's no rush in doing this. Separate the issues and have the voters vote on each one. I really want to support our police and fire, but I do feel like that should be every bond should be separate. It shouldn't be all lumped in one.
Thank you. Ms. McDonald?
And thank you. Hi, I am a no on this proposal, and only because as how it is written currently. I support the police and fire portions on this millage. I know City Hall needs to be revamped, but the Bennett Library, to me is a hard no on that. Unfortunately, the city has not maintained these buildings, any of these buildings properly over the last decades. So that's where the problem comes to be for me. And there is no plan for the future. So we build these buildings in another 25 years. Are we going to be in the same position that we are now? And no, we're going to have to rebuild everything again. So that's where I'm at on that. I'm just a no, as written. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mocker, we'll start this next question with you. How well is Livonia meeting the needs of low-income residents, and what more, if anything, needs to be done? You're muted.
My apologies. Can you repeat the second part?
Sure. How well is Livonia meeting the needs of low-income residents, and what more, if anything, needs to be done?
Yeah. Really, at this point, I do believe that Livonia has some very stable core services, right? We have solid foundations with schools, parks, but there's room to grow in meeting the needs of our lower income residents. With the core services, maintaining public safety, clean parks, dependable utilities helps everyone, including low income households. There are a lot of collaborations with nonprofits for food banks, youth programs, social services that reach vulnerable residents. We have affordable housing options. While limited, there are rental and downsizing options in some neighborhoods. There's a lot that we could do more, like expand access locally to host pantry pop-ups, health screenings, strengthen partnerships with those social service agencies. We could obviously boost the transportation and mobility support. That's a big topic right now. Investing in affordable housing tools.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. O'Connor?
Hi. I feel like with outreach and service to our community, there's always work to be done. I've spent a lot of my youth working through Rosedale Gardens Presbyterian Church, where we did a ton of outreach in the community and around the country. So I'm personally committed to making sure that all parts of our community get the attention and the resources they need and deserve. That means that as a city council person, I would need to be working and advocate for equitable investment in areas of our city that tend to be historically overlooked. So I would push for communication, more frequent city newsletters, more accessible public spaces, and then info hubs in gathering spaces. And then I think that we need to address affordable housing and improved transportation access, as well as workforce development programs, especially for youth and seniors in our city. Those are key priorities in order to help improve some of these issues and concerns around our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Persicone?
Thank you. I do think overall the city does a great job with respect to low-income housing. As the vice president of the Livonia Housing Commission, I can tell you that I think that Livonia exceeds most cities in this regard. We do offer public housing. We have the McNamara, which houses over 136 units right now. We have the Housing Choice Voucher Program, which currently is issuing 800 vouchers to residents of the city of Livonia. We have city-owned housing, that being Silver Village and Newburgh Village, and we are breaking ground on Newburgh Village 2. And we are also going to be breaking ground on Villa St. Clair, which is additional federal public housing. We are part of the Community Development Block Grant Program, which oversees over $800,000 of grants to Livonia residents for home repairs, neighborhood revitalization, and et cetera. And our transit, our Live and Go is wonderful.
Thank you. Mr. Picard?
Yes, I think that we do have some amazing offerings here when it does come to affordable housing, but we do need to promote it more. I support expanding affordable housing in Livonia in a way that fits our community. If that means encouraging mixed income and development, making sure new housing blends, with the character of our neighborhoods. Seniors, young families, working residents all need places to live. And not everything is going to work out for all of them. But if you grew up in Livonia or you work here now and you want to be here, you shouldn't be priced out. You should be able to find a place here, so you can stay in the city that you love. This is about keeping Livonia a place where people can, live and work and stay for their life. I think thoughtful housing policies will, keep our city strong and welcoming. And with having more senior affordable housing, we do have to look at raising our staffing for our fire department.
Thank you. Mr. King?
Yes, I think we need to do better with mental health services, and I will advocate for partnerships with county mental health teams and regional programs. And as far as low income housing, I consider Newburgh Village, Silver Village a part of that package, and we are doing a horrible job. Newburgh Village has dangerous sidewalks that seniors have tripped on, fallen, hurt themselves. 8 years we're waiting to fix these sidewalks. Every 2 years, they mark the dangerous spots. The marks fade and they come back and mark them again, but nothing's ever addressed. And my brother lives in the towers. I have friends living. It's just abysmal. Some of these places haven't had new carpet for 20 years, haven't been painted in 20 years. It's a shame what this city does. Again, it goes back to culture, no accountability. People just muddle along. Nobody's asked to do their job and to be held accountable in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. King. Ms. Mackey?
Yes, I think the city's doing a good job, but I think we can do better. There's a lot of programs and grants on a state and federal level that the city should be taking advantage of. I do volunteer at some food pantries, nonprofit organizations that were given, tax breaks on some buildings to provide food for low-income families. So I would like to see some of that here in Livonia as well.
Thank you. Ms. McDonald?
Yes, thank you. Could you repeat the question again, please?
Sure. How well is Livonia meeting the needs of low-income residents, and what more, if anything, needs to be done?
All right, thank you. Well, I know that housing in Livonia right now is scarce as far as new home sales and apartments availability for lower income people. I think we need to take time to do better. And I think people need to realize that Livonia has a homeless population that people really don't want to talk about. And I think those things need to be addressed. And we also, not only do we have just the senior housing facilities, we also need housing for families too. Silver Village, Newburgh Village, they're all senior properties. We need things that are more affordable for younger families. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McIntyre? You're muted.
And ironic, because I was going to ask if you could request that people have their microphones off when or that they're muted when they are not.
Women voters, come on in.
Carry on. Who was that?
That's on. This is legal.
Mr. King, if you could turn your mic off when you're not speaking, we seem to be getting some background noise.
I will try.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. A lot of the things that were mentioned about Livonia and our low-income population, we do have, as Ms. Persicone mentioned, we do have an excellent program with senior housing, and it's income-based and income adjusted in their income limits. As far as services for our lower income, and all of us understand that there are people who struggle in every community to pay their bills, to put food on the table. When you look at the services that we provide and the amenities we provide, every family, every resident in Livonia has access to those things regardless of income level. The same level of excellent public safety, parks, amenities, schools. We have a lot of programs in our schools to help children from low-income families. I think that there's always room for greater partnerships with social service agencies. I've been involved in a number of those for years, including the Senior Alliance, Livonia Community Foundation. We have the lowest tax rate.
Thank you. Ms. O'Connor, we'll start this next question with you. Maintaining and improving our neighborhoods requires responsive and efficient community services. What changes, if any, do you think are needed for citizens to be proud of every neighborhood?
Okay, I love this question because I was actually just talking about this recently with a new friend who sent me a link to the Instagram for the new newly launched Neighborhood Revitalization Commission that has been implemented in Dearborn. I know Robin mentioned it too. And I think it's an incredible model that I think we could explore here in Livonia. It basically brings together residents, city officials, and then other community partners to identify the needs of neighbors and then investing directly in neighborhoods that have been either historically underfunded or overlooked. So I think a similar commission in Livonia could help focus on targeted improvements like blight removal, small business support, streetscape upgrades, community programming, especially areas like the South Side and some of the older corridors down along Plymouth Road. But more than anything, it would give residents a voice and a seat at the table. And I think that our residents could all step in and help our neighbors who maybe are disabled or infirm and aren't able to upkeep their own properties.
Thank you. Ms. Persicone?
Can you repeat the question for me?
Sure. Maintaining and improving our neighborhoods requires responsive and efficient community services. What changes, if any, do you think are needed for citizens to be proud of every neighborhood?
Thank you. You know, and as Ms. O'Connor just touched base on and what I touched base on earlier, I think it's so important for Livonia residents to feel proud that they come from Livonia. Historically, Livonia has been such a strong suburb, and that is changing, and I don't think it's going in the right direction. And that is why I think a project like having a city beautification commission would help tremendously. It is a great way to get the administration and city officials to work with citizens. You know, administration and council we're people that live in the community too. And I think that when you enter Livonia, you want to feel proud that this is your home. And if you look at, for example, like Northville Township, where they have beautiful you know, structures that say welcome to Northville with the ponds behind it and flowers. We need that. We have signs in Livonia that are 50 years old. So appearance matters, and that's what I think would be great for our community.
Thank you. Mr. Picard?
Yeah, I think Robin and Jenny really took my answer there. But you know, I think one big thing is just, you know, supporting community and promoting community. You know, when you know your neighbors, you're going to care about them more. Sometimes there's people in our community that aren't able to, you know, get their yard to top notch like they used to. So knowing your neighbors and stepping up and helping each other, that's what this is all about. And that's why I love Livonia. That's why I'm running for city council, is because, you know, at a hard time in my life, I found community here. So for me, it's just, you know, supporting like neighborhood programming, things like, you know, the Wilson Barn or Noble, and places like that, you know, Greenmead, like stuff like that throughout the whole entire city, and not just putting it in one certain area. Just supporting neighborhoods, programming together, the churches, everything.
Thank you. Mr. King?
Yeah, as far as the neighborhoods go, I've been here long enough to see the downward spiral. And the neighborhoods just, there's some neighborhoods that are so bad, I can't even believe it. And ordinance enforcement, it doesn't exist. Zoning and ordinance, those are the tools the city can use to keep a healthy city functioning. And we need to do a better job of that. In this environment of homes for sale at outrageous prices, there are empty homes in my neighborhood and other neighborhoods. They're empty. How is that allowed? Again, no accountability, no transparency. It's a culture of we just don't fix stuff. When things are broken, you have to fix them. So Livonia doesn't need to spend more, we need to spend smarter. And I will work to fix what's broken, fund what's needed, and cut what's wasteful. a grant writer that actually obtains funding would be a priority for me, and we could use.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. King. Ms. Mackey? Oops, you're muted.
Sorry about that. It's very important to expand access to city resources and make sure and all residents have access to recreational programs, job support, community health services, no matter where in the city they live. And it's very important to boost communication and outreach. I know someone mentioned Dearborn, and Dearborn, you just go on the city government webpage, and there's like a bot there to answer any questions that you have. That'll take you wherever you need to go. So creating like a centralized platform that clearly lists all available programs, by neighborhood, and maybe even translated to the top languages spoken in the city.
Thank you. Ms. McDonald? Unmute.
There we go. Thank you. Well, I believe that people in the neighborhoods really should try to work together, but I know the 16th District Court has individuals that do community service, and I see them at times, cleaning up over in areas on main roads. But why don't we go one step further and bring those individuals into neighborhoods that they could come through and help and cut lawns and clean up properties for people that can't do it themselves. I have a neighbor that lives next door, and he unfortunately is a veteran, and he's limited on his abilities. So he kind of waits for his kids to come over to help him. But I think that would be something we could do. Just utilize our resources differently. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McIntyre?
Thank you. So this is a question about neighborhood revitalization, pride in neighborhoods, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I think that every neighborhood, every Livonia neighborhood that you go into, and we have a lot of neighborhoods, you see a lot of examples of pride in the neighborhoods. So I don't think there are any neighborhoods where there are people where you don't find significant numbers of people who are proud of their neighborhoods. The city has a grant program that was started while I was on council that lets neighborhoods apply for events that may be a beautification or an improvement of an amenity, or even just, as others have said, community, getting people together for a block party. I think that we have a program that helps low-income people with home repairs and home loans. I would like to see a neighborhood assessment, just as we've done a building assessment. And that's one of the things that I will ask for when I'm on council.
Thank you. Ms. Persicone, we will start this next question with you. And this is our final question.
Can I answer that question about revitalization?
Well, okay, Mr. Mauger. I'm so sorry I missed you. Please go ahead.
All good. I just didn't want to be missed.
No, I'm so sorry.
Every neighborhood in Livonia should be a place residents are proud to call home. To make that a reality citywide, we need to invest more intentionally in the small, visible things that shape daily life. Well-maintained roads, sidewalks, street lighting, tree cover, and clean, welcoming public spaces. We also need to prioritize responsiveness, whether it's addressing blight, enforcing speed limits, or making it easier for residents to just get answers from City Hall. More importantly, people feel proud of their neighborhood when they feel heard, safe, and connected. That means stronger outreach, more opportunities to gather, and clear communication about what's happening in their part of the city. Pride grows when people feel invested and where they see their city investing in them.
Thank you. Ms. Persicone, we'll start this final question with you, and then we'll move on to our closing statements. What do you see as the top issue facing Livonia today? How have you engaged with City Hall or local residents to address this issue recently?
Well, I mean, to be frank, I think the top issue right now is clearly the municipal facilities bond and the direction that Livonia will go. I've been engaging with a lot of residents and talking about what way you want to see Livonia go. And as a lifetime Livonia resident, I've been here for 47 years. I want to see it go in a more modern, family-friendly direction. And I want to do that in a way that also preserves what we already have and protects our seniors and ensures that everybody has access to all of our amenities. And so that's why I think it's very important to move forward with this, and especially with respect to funding our first responders. I am humbled to have been endorsed by Livonia Police and Livonia Command Officers Associations, and I speak with them regularly. I work with the police regularly. It is so important to have the facilities that we need to keep our community safe. So I think I think it's really important to be able to do that and do that now. And so I think that's what people are thinking. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Picard, unmute, please.
Can you repeat the question one more time for me?
Sure. What do you see as the top issue facing our city today? How have you engaged with City Hall or local residents to address this issue recently?
All right. I think one of our biggest things is just members of our community not feeling equal. People on the south side thinking that they aren't getting the same resources that people on the north side are getting. People in the LGBTQ community not thinking that they're welcomed here in Livonia. People being of color and not feeling safe in Livonia. I was door knocking the other day and I talked to a woman who wore a hijab, and she said that she doesn't want any signs on her lawn because she's afraid that she would be targeted. You know, just because, I have white privilege and so many of us do, doesn't mean that there are people who aren't, afraid because of their skin color or their beliefs. So I think that we need to make everyone feel equal. I'm a member of Livonia Equity Anti-Racist Network. I work with, all members of the community. I listen. So that's what I've been doing.
Thank you. Mr. King?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. What do you see as the top issue facing our city today? How have you engaged with City Hall or local residents to address this issue recently?
I believe crime is completely out of control. If you listen to police radio scanners, you would understand why the vast majority of our first responders have moved out of Livonia. There was a shootout in broad daylight, a block from my daughter's house. The recent police shooting at 5 Mile and Middlebelt, it made the news, but that same week, the bank across the street and 2 other businesses were robbed, as well as a drive-by at the Taco Bell. It is long past time to accept Livonia has become a favorite target of criminals. Nuisance crime is up 1,000% over the last 5 years. Cars and catalytic converters being stolen out of driveways daily. Go on the social media sites. It's happening. So new buildings don't fight crime. Manpower, tools, training, and technology all need upgrades. The city of Taylor is the first city in Michigan to use first responder drones. I have been asking for this for years, and we should be
Thank
next.
you. Thank you. Ms. Mackey?
Oh, am I unmuted? Okay.
No, you're good. We
Sorry
hear
about
you.
that. So yeah, talking to the residents, when I'm, door knocking or my neighborhood, or even looking at the neighborhood app, I would have to agree that crime is one of the, top issues in Livonia today, still being one of the safest cities, in the state. I do come from, cities with, high crime. I lived in Chicago, and that all has to do with, politics over people. So, I would support, giving our police and first responders all the resources and staffing they need, not cutting any corners on accountability or training. Just, investing in neighborhood watch programs, improving lighting in public areas. There's a corner right by my house that
you can't even, see. I almost ran someone over one night. So just really focusing on public safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McDonald.
All right, thank you. Over the last time I was at the open house at the fire department for the Vision 21 and the municipal bond, the firefighters all indicated that, of course, they are so short-staffed, but what was more concerning was that the formulation for hiring staff for the fire department is based on formulas from when Ed McNamara was mayor. It's just something has to be done. There are more people in Livonia, not necessarily maybe population wise living here, but there are more people coming into our community day to day. And this problem has to be addressed before anything else. It's critical and we need to take care of this now, not next year, but now.
Thank you. Ms. McIntyre? You're muted. There you go.
Anyway, as you know, I have 3 areas of focus and concern, and these go to the big concerns in Livonia. One is to keep Livonia safe. And that means continuing to staff at appropriate levels. What those are always are up for re-examining, making sure that our firefighters have the facilities, our firefighters and police have the facilities and tools they need, including much needed equipment upgrades and a new fire department. It also means community policing. Number 2 is keeping Livonia prosperous. And that means continuing to cut red tape and building a strong workforce. And keeping Livonia welcoming by supporting all of our residents, by supporting families, seniors, and neighbors with disabilities. How I've recently done that, I've been a supporter of the police for as long as I've lived here, why I have both the endorsements of the LPOA, and I've lost my screen with the timer, LPOA and the Command Association. Cutting red
There's
tape.
your time.
I'm sorry.
That's your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mocker?
Yes, one of the top issues facing Livonia today is our aging infrastructure, particularly not just in all 100 plus buildings that the city has, but particularly in public safety buildings and city facilities that no longer meet modern standards. We also face growing concerns about uneven investment across neighborhoods, traffic and pedestrian safety, and revitalizing key commercial corridors like Plymouth. Beyond that, many residents feel disconnected from decision-making. They want a city government that listens, communicates clearly, and reflects their everyday concerns. I've engaged with residents by knocking on doors, attending community events, serving on the Zoning Board of Appeals, and taking time to listen, whether it's about traffic on their street, a development near their home, or what kind of future they want for Livonia. I believe the best ideas come from the ground up, and I'm committed to being a council member who stays accessible, responsive, and rooted in the neighborhoods that I serve.
Thank you. Ms. O'Connor?
Okay, hi, thank you. One of, in my opinion, one of the biggest issues that we're facing in our city is making sure that all of our residents feel welcome, supported, and seen. Livonia has historically been a very kind of $1 million family, the whitest city in America. And I believe part of this includes addressing community mental health needs, being truly inclusive of our neighbors who are members of the LGBTQ plus community, celebrating racial diversity, and then going really beyond minimum ADA compliance to create spaces that are accessible and affirming for everyone. In my career, I advocate for accessibility and inclusion. I help enforce ADA compliance, not just in words, but how we design spaces and shape policy and build the community. Since I've filed and then beyond, prior to that, I've been attending city council meetings and other meetings throughout the community, volunteering and talking with neighbors so that I can use 2 ears and 1 mouth and be a listener and really implement what people are asking for.
Thank you. We'll now begin our closing statements. 1 minute. Mr. Picard, we will start with you.
All right, thank you guys so much for throwing this. This was fantastic. For me, I think that I would do great on city council because I listen. I've been here. I've been volunteering for years. I didn't just show up when I announced my candidacy. I've been doing this for years. I've been building community. I've been helping the citizens of Livonia. And that's what I'm going to continue doing no matter what happens in this election. If I don't get elected, I'm going to do the same thing that I'm doing right now, and that's working for Livonia, helping the city of Livonia, talking about how our firefighters need to have better staffing. I was the person who asked the chief what their biggest issue was, and the chief told me. So I went and researched it and found out that all the cities that are surrounding us have more staffing than ours. It's ridiculous. We need to be more inclusive. We need to be more ADA compliant. We need to have better staffing for our first responders, and we need to start listening to people. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. King?
Yes, I have served on the school board as a trustee. I was chair of the Building and Site Committee, overseeing the use of millions of dollars. I was the sports director at the YMCA, providing programs for thousands of families and youth. I have built a number of homes in this community. I built the first $1 million home in Livonia, and 4 of my homes have been on the Christmas walk. I think my resume is stellar when it comes to the skills necessary to be a council member. But this election, this is a millage election, and there just happens to be some folks running for council. And that's what this whole thing boils down to. And I was at Music from the Heart, talked to 50 people, all seniors, all vote, every one of them a no. I probably heard from 100 different people, no. The folks that are pushing this millage and telling you how poorly our buildings were built are okay with the same folks building
Thank
the
you.
next ones.
Thank you, Mr. King. That's 1 minute.
Wow. Okay, thanks.
Ms. Mackey? You're muted.
Okay. I just want to thank you once again to the League of Women Voters for hosting this very important conversation. You know, like I said before, I was a nurse, and I worked in the ER. And my first day ever, I was handed 18 patients, and I had to think fast and prioritize. You know, juggle and lead under pressure. And I think that's the kind of leadership we need to bring to City Hall. I moved here with my family. We chose Livonia because Livonia puts family first. When you drive into the city, you see, what do you see? You see families first. And I've lived in cities where safety, slipped, spending was reckless, and leaders worked for reelection, not the people. So I'm going to fight for transparency, reasonable budgeting, and strong support for our police and fire departments because they deserve the tools and facilities that match the weight of their service. And I'm here to serve the community, and I hope to get your vote on August 5th. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McDonald?
Hi, thank you. Thank you again to the League of Women Voters for hosting us tonight. I am excited to have the opportunity to represent you in this wonderful city. I believe with a strong council, we can make Livonia better. I am not a person who will only make decisions based on I will not be a person to make decisions based on my personal opinions. I will represent you and be your voice. Please take time to learn about me via Facebook, McDonald for Livonia City Council 2025, and on my website, citizensforeileenmcdonald.com. I will respond for questions as soon as I am able, and I'm asking the community to vote for me. I will represent you. I will not sit back and not listen. I think council needs to take a step higher and do that. They need to listen and care. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McIntyre?
There we go.
You're muted.
Thank you to the League and the other candidates for being so engaged in our community. As Livonia celebrates our 75th birthday, we stand at a turning point. The decisions we make now are going to shape our next 75 years. I'm ready to get back to work as a city council person, keep our neighborhood safe, grow good jobs, protect what makes Livonia special, and make sure that no one is left behind. I've spent decades rolling up my sleeves in this city alongside Livonians of every age and income level, from city hall to neighborhoods to food pantries, because Livonia deserves leaders who show up, listen, and deliver. I know this job because I've done this job. I'm Kathleen McIntyre, and I'm asking for your vote to keep Livonia safe, prosperous, and welcoming. If you visit my website, mcintyreforcouncil.com, you can learn a lot more. Thank you very much for the opportunity tonight, and thank you to everyone for being part of this and for watching.
Thank you. Mr. Mocker?
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity to be part of this conversation tonight. I'm Brian Marr, a lifelong Livonian, husband, father of three, small business owner, and member of the Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm running for city council because I believe Livonia's best days are ahead if we lead with strategy, transparency, and care. We need to invest in public safety, support smart business growth, and make sure every neighborhood feels seen, heard, and valued. I'm not running to make noise. I'm running to do the work to show up, listen well, and serve with integrity. I'd be honored to earn your vote on August 5th. Let's build a Livonia that works for everyone together. You can visit my website at Brian for Livonia, that's FOR or the number 4, or you can go to livoniacitycouncil.com and see what happens there. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Ms. O'Connor?
Thank you. I'm Jenny O'Connor. I'm running for Livonia City Council. I'm not running for City Council because I'm trying to climb a political ladder or make a name for myself or promote myself in any way. I'm certainly not here to shame people or shout at people. I'm running because I care deeply about our city. I believe our city deserves thoughtful, inclusive, and respectful leadership. My background is in design, community building, and project management, not politics. I know how to listen, how to collaborate, and how to follow through. I want to bring those skills to the table to help move our city forward together. So in my opinion, this campaign isn't about me at all. It's about making sure that all of our residents feel heard, respected, and supported in the city that they call their home. And I just want to thank you all for the opportunity to share my vision and my thoughts this evening. Please, everybody, remember to vote on August 5th. And if you'd like more information about me, please visit my website. It's Jenny O'Connor, OCONNOR.org. I'd be honored to earn your support. And if you have any other questions that didn't get answered here tonight, please reach out to me directly. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Persicone?
Yes, thank you to the league and my fellow candidates today for this engaging evening. I certainly learned that 1 minute is not a very long time to answer these questions. And so I would ask you to visit my website to learn a lot more about me, pickrobin.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Just Google Robin Persicone for City Council. It'll pop up in both places. I'm a practicing attorney and I've been practicing law for the past 23 years. Every day I go to work and I have to find solutions and compromise to people's complex problems and situations. I'm ready to bring that real world experience to Livonia City Council. Coupled with the fact that I'm an active and community volunteer, president-elect of Rotary on the housing, and I'm on the Housing Commission, I'm well aware of what the needs of Livonia are, and I can't wait to serve this community. So I hope that I have earned your vote, and I'd be grateful for it on August 5th. Thank you.
Thanks to all of you. Besides the 14 candidates, or actually it's 15 candidates that appeared in our forums tonight, 4 more appear on the ballot. 2 of the candidates, Yvette Warren and Jackie Graham, could not attend the forum, and 2 candidates have indicated they are withdrawing from the race, Adam Stathakis and Marlene Katafias, though those 2 will still appear on the ballot. We thank the League of Women Voters members who helped with this forum, including our producer, Tony Jones, and our timer, Sandy Mae Nemesto. The forum has been recorded and can be viewed on the League's website, lwvnorthwestwayne.org, within 48 hours. Please note that ownership of the recording or transcript resides with the League of Women Voters of Northwest Wayne County. The candidates or their supporters may not use portions of the forum or any audio clips, video clips, or transcripts for political advertising or other purposes without the written permission of the League of Women Voters of Northwest Wayne County. We also thank the candidates who are running for office. They are asking for the support of the voters as they seek a job in the public service sector, and we hope voters will listen to their views. We also appreciate the voters in the city of Livonia who are watching this forum to learn about their choices on Tuesday, August 5th. Each of these candidates was also invited to participate in the League of Women Voters Voter Guide, a publication that you can access online by visiting vote411.org. The League provides this forum as an opportunity for candidates to express their views related to their candidacy. Statements expressed by the candidates are not endorsed nor opposed by the League. Also, the League does not certify any candidate's responses to questions as accurate. Voters are encouraged to fact-check information shared at the forum. Election Day is August 5th, and the polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you are not registered to vote, you can do so through Election Day. Within 14 days of the election, registration must be done at the office of the Livonia City Clerk. All registered voters can vote early by absentee ballot, and though not required by law, Livonia is offering early voting on Saturday and Sunday, August 2nd and 3rd at Livonia City Hall. The hours for early voting are 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And of course, to receive an absentee ballot, you must complete and return an absentee ballot application unless it has already been sent to you or you are part of the permanent absentee ballot voter list. This concludes our forum for this evening. We sincerely thank the candidates, not just for running for office, but for participating in this event. Thank you very much for your willingness to do this wonderful public service. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Welcome.
much.